Come with me to Castle Towers Mountain near Whistler, British Columbia. One of the toughest single day pushes I've done, 24 plus miles, and one of the more prominent peaks in the area. Check out these fucking views. Oh yeah. Whew. Alright, it's just past 5 a.m. and I'm starting on Castle Towers Mountain in BC. It's about 8780, I believe, and boasts about 3,700 feet of prominence. It's the high point in this area. I'm looking at about 22 miles and about 10,000 feet of elevation gain. And I think it will take me about 14 to 16 hours. Hopefully 14, 16 sounds long. I went climbing yesterday, so my legs are not fresh, but I'm not in a time crunch. So hopefully I can just not go to crazy pace, knock it off, and if I'm absolutely cooked, I gotta sleep in the car. I'm absolutely cooked and I gotta sleep in the car again. After getting some mediocre sleep, I hit the trail just after 5 a.m. I followed the Cheakamus Lake Trail down the Cheakamus River, crossed it, and turned onto the Helm Creek Trail. The grade quickly steepened as I ascended 1,000 feet through a series of switchbacks. Once past them, the grades eased as I continued another 3 miles to the Helm Creek camp. Just before camp, I broke out of the tree line and into the vast meadows. The black tusk towered in the distance. Alright, it's a few hours in, about 2.5 hours in. I'm about 6 miles in, and I'm about to reach the cutoff to Castle Towers. So I'm gonna leave the main trail. I'm on at this point, the trail towards Panorama Ridge right now. I'm gonna leave that behind. I've broken out past Helm Creek Camp. I quickly left the meadows behind and entered an old glacial valley. Marmots were everywhere, their burrows visible from the trail. After about a mile of hiking, I reached the base of the Helm Glacier and the tarn at its base. Based on GPS tracks, I stayed left of the glacier, side-hilling on terrible rock. This was tedious and slow, taking nearly an hour to travel 0.65 miles. Once past the glacier, I stayed left and ascended to 7,000 feet in Geniton Pass. There I got my first view of Castle Towers, dead center, and Garibaldi to the left. A deep valley stood between Castle Towers and me, so I descended nearly 1,000 feet to the base of the mountain. At the valley floor I hit a creek, maybe my last running water source, which wasn't ideal. From here, I picked up a nice climber's trail and followed it through a rugged alpine meadow to 7,000 feet before transitioning onto a boulder field, a staple of Castle Towers. (6,800 feet). So I've gained about 800 since dropping all the way down to 6,000. Views are pretty insane. Took a break, ate my salami and cheese. So fucking peak. Yeah, I've never thought about just doing both in bar form instead of sliced. It's kind of awesome. My cheese bar, my salami bar. I just need the cracker bar, and then I'll be good to go. But yeah, feeling better now, and I'm gonna try to just make this haul when the terrain's like this, because then at some point the terrain's going to get too rocky for me to move quick. So while I can move quick, I will move quick. At 7,500 feet, I reached Polonium Ridge and got a sweeping vantage point at Castle Tower's vast glaciated slopes. I continued along the climber's trail, dropping 250 feet and traversing the ridgeline. You stay on route, and there's nothing harder than Class 2+. I'm at 7620, so I have 1,100 feet to the summit. I'm pretty fucking tired, but you know, this is when all the training, all the hikes, all the bullshit kind of comes to fruition, and it's like, it's just now or never. You gotta want it. So should get up to the summit around an hour, and put me on 7.5 hours to the summit. And I have probably 7.5 hours back down. But hey, the summit's a fucking summit. So let's get this shit. Once past, I began to ascend 1,500 feet of massive boulder fields, which was tedious and demoralizing. At 8,800 feet, I topped out at the false summit of Castle Towers. The mighty stop here is simply a walk up to this point. The true summit, a blocky pile of rocks, requires some scrambling. First, I ascended a steep chute with moderate exposure, then traversed a flat notch to the summit block. I finally dropped my poles here, as I wanted both hands for this section. About 30 feet below the summit, I reached the crux, where I climbed a few massive rock shelves with a ton of exposure. The holds were great, and I considered this section low class 4. From there, I walked along some flat slabs to the summit. Summit of Castle Tower Mound Middle, which is supposed to be the highest one. Yeah. 12 miles, 7,500 feet of elevation gain with 1,500 loss, so it's gonna be 24 and 9,000. Car to car took me just under 8 hours, 7 hours, about 40 minutes. I just had my lunch. I only have snow melt, so I kind of want to get down to running water because I'm going to be kind of dehydrated until then. Is what it is. The scramble up top was definitely a bit tougher. I want to find an easier route. There's like some legit exposure, but that just might be is what it is. Gonna put on the helmet for the descent. Besides that, nothing looks too bad. But yeah, I definitely want to get down and get moving. And let's go. Look at the views. That looks higher, but per people, it's not. Also, that's like the descent's crazy, and that's looking north into like some of the more remote areas nearby. Garibaldi Lake. Hopefully I'm saying Garibaldi right. I think that's what it is. Tantalus behind there, the Tusk, Wedge over there. This massive fucking glacier that stretches all the way over there. Pretty fucking awesome. Yeah, I mean, just an all-time climb, but it's only an all-time climb if I get down safe, you know. The class 4 section was fairly easy, and once past it was a simple slog down through the massive boulder fields to Polonium Ridge. Once there, I took a much-needed break before descending to the valley floor. There, I filled up on water before reascending Jennington Pass and descending down to Helm Glacier. Overall, this is my all-time favorite snow-free climb. I walked across a few minor snow patches, but I could have avoided them. The sheer amount of different biomes I traveled through was unreal, and the summit views were jaw-dropping. The climb is fairly basic, and besides the one class 4 move, nothing exceeds low-level class 3. An awesome way to close out my time in Whistler, my toughest car-to-car trip to date. As always, happy hiking and stay safe.